Hey, third grade, we are going to review for our arithmetic. We'll do a quicker review today so you can just get to your page. But I wanted to review, so I want you to go back and say your 12 multiplication, 12 division tables. We don't do those every day like we would in the classroom, but I hope that you do them because that's going to help you so much to know all of your tables. Go back through them. Even during the summer, say your tables so that you do not forget them for next year because it's going to help you immensely with Miss Phelan's class and what you're going to have to be doing. So that's why we're plugging away. I know you're ready to be done, but let's just get those last few concepts down. I'm going to try to kind of go through some of this quickly. Some of it is just review and then get to our last few new concepts. So then that way we can, close this out strongly. But that's one of my goals is that I just want to get through, especially the last few concepts that are going to help you for next year so that you'll already have I can't think of the word now. Wow, it just left me. Uh, that way it'll be helpful. I don't know. It's it's been a long day, so I don't know what's going on with my brain today. It's kind of a little doo-doo. So and you can see we're back on my tablet, so it's a little off. So you have to kind of work with me for that through that. So anyway, we'll do this. So study over your multiplication and division. Make sure you know that review those things this summer. And then, like I said, we're going to get through just those last few new concepts, which is going to really just plug you into next year and make it a lot easier for you to be able to feel confident with the new things, and you won't have to just be learning them for the first time because she knows that you're already supposed to have gotten some of that. So that will just kind of really help you and help her too. So hang in there with me just a little bit longer. We're almost done, almost there. So Roman numerals, I'm going to call out the letters and you yell them out to me, okay? CD. Yes. I heard, okay. 400, right? Because C is 100, D is 500. Smaller Roman numeral in front of my larger means I subtract. 500 minus 100 is 400, okay? MM, good, we all got that one. 2000. XC, some of you got it. It can't be 110. It's X in front of my C. That means I subtract. Excuse me, that means I subtract. So it would be 90. XL. Right, okay, so L is 50. Remember, it's not 500. L is 50. X in front of it, smaller in front, means you subtract. So just like XC was 90, XL is 40. LX. Yes, good. That was really quick because we just had 40 with XL. LX is going to be 60, adding. MC. Good. 1,100. Excellent. DC. 600. Good. So we just kind of went from the smaller in front and now the smaller after. So we're adding. CM. Oh, some of you got it. Good job. 900. 1,000 minus 100. C is 100 is 900. If you got that, you give yourself a huge pat on the back because that was really good to figure that out. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. So I want to go through our money problems. We've done these and it's been a while, so I want to review over to make sure we have those down really well. And then we're going to be reviewing multiplying 3 numbers on the top times 2 numbers on the bottom. Super simple though, right? Like we said yesterday, super, super simple. So let's look at our money problems. We have 6 quarters, 3 dimes, and 3 nickels. Remember, to the side of it, you're going to write what it is in dollars and cents. So if I have 6 quarters, we know that 4 quarters is what? $1. So if I have 2 more quarters, it's going to be $1.50. So I put my 1 here, decimal point 50. okay? And write it neatly, because the neater you write it, the easier it's going to be. I'm not sure why I left you back there and didn't have you come join me. Come join me, third grade. Come join me on the board so you can see it better, I hope. That's a little bit better, right? Sorry about that. So 3 dimes. So we have 6 quarters equals $1.50. 3 dimes equals 30 cents. So make sure right underneath, neatly, put your decimal point, then put your 30 cents. Then 3 nickels. What are 3 nickels? 15 cents. 5, 10, 15. So put your 15 cents right underneath that decimal point comes, this decimal point, and you write 15. So each number, look at how neatly, if you have to, you're going to have to do it on your notebook paper so that you can do it in between each of the lines to make sure it stays nice and neat so you can add carefully. Because if you're not adding carefully, that's where you're going to struggle. So 0 plus 0 plus 5, very good, 5. Then 5 plus 3, 8 plus 1, 9, good, 9. Then my decimal point, and then 1 plus 0 plus 0, and it's 1. So the answer would be $1.95, okay? So make it nice and neat. Decimal points underneath, each number underneath where it went. I moved this 9 over just because of where my line was, but make it nice and neat as you're doing that. So we're going to practice again. 16 dimes. 16 dimes. Now that's easy because you're multiplying 16 times 10. Yes. So it would be $1.60. So write my 1, decimal point 6, 0. 7 nickels. It's just 7 times 5, which is 35. Make sure your decimal point goes first so that you can put your 3 and your 5 right where they need to be, in my cents place. 3 pennies. 3 cents. How do I write it though? Decimal point. Good. 0, 3. Decimal point 0, 3. Remember, I have to have 2 places to the right of my decimal point. So if I have those 2 places and there's only 3 cents, I have to put a 0 in the dimes place. There's no dimes. It's only pennies, okay? And then we add 5 and 3, 8. 6 plus 3 plus 0, 9. Decimal point comes right underneath. And then dollar in front of that. And don't forget your dollar sign. $1.98. Okay? That's pretty easy, right? So I'm not pretty easy. I know you know it, but I just wasn't sure how well we remembered. It's been a while since we've done it, but you're going to be seeing it on the next test. So I want to make sure to review it. So now we'll move down so we can review these that we learned yesterday, these fun things. Hopefully, I don't know if that's going to be low enough. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. We're on a little ride. Okay, so we are going to look at 3 numbers on the top times our 2 numbers on the bottom, but it's the same. Cover over the tens place and simply multiply every number on the top times my 2, my 2 and my ones place. So it's 240 times 2, and then 240 times 2, really 20 though, because we're going to put that 0 there. So 0 times 2, 0. 4 times 2, 8. And 2 times 2, 4. So this underneath, there we go, that looks a little bit neater. Underneath should look the same as this, except for it's going to be different because that first, we're not going to worry about doing this. Okay, sorry, let me, again, okay? So because we're in the tens place, there's a 0 that's automatically going to go in the ones place in the partial product. So now we're just going to go with everything on the top times my tens place. So 0 times 2 is 0. So remember, it should look almost like the top, except for it's going to be 1 number over because that 0 takes the place of the tens place. Never mind. I'm going to get you confused if I keep talking. Then 4 times 2 is 8. And then 2 times 2 is 4. See how I told you it should look the same, except for the fact that because this was multiplying by the tens place, we have our extra 0 there. So it's still 480, but we add the extra 0, so it's 4,800. And that's really sloppy looking. I'm sorry about that. Hard working from the side here like this. So then we add 0 plus 0, 8 plus 0, 4 plus 8, carry over my 1, 1 plus 4, 5,280. Oh, does that look familiar? What is it? That's how many feet are in a mile. Very good. 5280, 5 tomatoes. All right, 519 times 31. All we have to worry about is 519 times 1. That's easy. I know. So just do it. 9 times 1. 1 times 1. And 5 times 1. So 519 times 1. It couldn't be any easier than that because we know it's going to be 519. But the very first thing that we're going to do now, put our 0, 0, 0 in the ones place. Now I multiply, cover over my ones place, everything times my tens place. So now I multiply 9 times 3. 27. My 2 comes up top with a plus sign. 1 times 3. Plus 2 is 5. And 5 times 3 is 15. So we put the 15 in the front, comma, and then we are simply going to add 9 plus 0, and put your plus sign, sorry, 9 plus 0, 7 plus 1, 5 plus 5, 1 plus 5, and 0 plus 1. So that's all it is, 16,089. All right, easy. Now, next one, 483. Everything on the top times my 4. Everything on the top times my ones place. 3 times 4, 12. Good. Carry over my 1 with a plus sign. 8 times 4, 32 plus 1, 33. Carry over my other 3 with a plus sign because there is a hundreds place. Now 4 times 4, 16 plus 3 is 19. And bring down the both 1 and the 9 since there's no other place to carry it to. Now we cross out our carryover numbers because we're done with them. And then we put our 0, 0, 0. Anytime that you guys miss these, that's the only reason why, is because you forget to put the 0. So just check every time to make sure you put the 0 because your answer should have a 2 because it's 2 plus 0 equals 2. So it should be the same answer for the ones place as what is on the first part of the partial product. All right, so now everything on the top times my tens place times 7. 483 times 7. 7 times 3, my 21. My 1 comes down, my 2 goes on the top with a plus sign. 8 times 7, 56 plus 2 is 58. 8 comes down with a 5 with a plus sign. And then 4 times 7, 28 plus 5 is 33. And then I simply add my partial products to find my final product. 2 plus 0, 2. 3 plus 1, 4. 9 plus 8, 17. Good. 1 plus 1, plus 3, 5. And 0 plus 3, 3. So 35,742. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's all it is that we're going to be doing for today. It's just a review and a review page. So page 309 and 310. Look quickly, carefully at section 1. Let's try that again. Use tally marks to determine how many students chose which event to participate in at field day. Oh, field day. So when you look at the relay race, how do you count those tally marks? You count them by 5 because that line across means 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is the line across. So you can just do 5, 10, 15, 16. Right, so that's what you're going to do. Now for section 2, and you're going to do that for the 3-legged and the 50-yard dash. For section 2, you are going to graph your results. So you are going to show that and color in each spot till you get to 16 or till you get to whatever the three-legged race is and whatever you get for the 50-yard dash. So you're just coloring in each space to represent, 0 through 5, then through 10 through 15. So you don't even have to count them all out. Like you would know for the relay race, you're going to already go to 15 and then do one beyond that. So that makes it easier. So when you add up the other ones, you just go to the number that you know, color all that in quickly, and then if there's some extras, then you color in those extras. Okay, so then look at section 3, story problems. Mrs. Wright baked 135 chocolate chip cookies and 1/3 as many brownies as cookies for her Bible class. How many cookies and brownies did she bake in all? So we already know how many cookies, but we don't know how many brownies. But she did 1/3 the number of cookies. So take the number of cookies and find out 1/3 of that. What is that? It's division, right? And then you add those two answers together. How many cookies, how many brownies? So give that as the total answer. Then Liam has 36 seashells in his collection. Mason has 5 fewer shells than Liam. What does that mean? He has 5 less, so we would subtract, okay? So all you're doing is subtracting from Liam's number, 5 from Liam's number. But then Jack has 1/3 as many shells as Liam. And you know how many Liam has because it already told us. So now you're going to take Liam's number and divide it into thirds, okay? And once you figure out what 1/3 of Liam's number is, then you're going to add Liam's number and Mason's number and Jack's number. And you'll find out how many shells the 3 boys have altogether. Then follow the signs, very simple. Write the products. It's what we just practiced on the board. Find the average. Now, some of you are still not doing this correctly. It's not circling a number, okay? You can't do that, especially when you only have 2 numbers here. So what you have to do is add these 2 numbers together. Write an equal sign with a plus and add each of those digits, 2 plus 6 and 4 plus 3 and 8 plus 1. Add them together carefully and then divide the answer that you get by how many numbers did you add together? You added 2 whole numbers together. So that's what you're doing to find the average. And then write the value of each circled digit. Remember, when you do that, you write that number. Like number 1, you're going to write the letter A, you're going to write the 9, and then you write zeros for whatever's left after the 9. For letter B, write the 4 and write zeros for whatever's left, okay, if there's anything left behind it. Then, brain booster, any whole number greater than 1 can be divided evenly by numbers other than 1 or itself is a composite number. Circle the composite numbers. So yesterday, you guys were saying there's no brain booster, but remember, I talked to you about the brain booster for the prime numbers. We were talking about prime numbers are only numbers that can be divided by themselves or 1, like 3. 3 divided by 3 or 3 divided by 1. 2. 2 divided by 2 or 2 divided by 1. Did you think of other prime numbers? 5 is a prime number because you can only divide it by itself and 1. You can't divide it by 2 or 3 or 4. 7 is another prime number, right? So now you're coming up with numbers that are composite. That means you can divide them by more than just one other number. So look at the numbers that are there that would not be prime numbers divided only by themselves and 1, but you could divide other things by them. You can divide them a couple different ways, okay? We'll talk over that hopefully the next day if I remember. Write answers for homework for your measures. Study those measures carefully. I did a whole video on measures so that you could review those because some of you are still struggling. And then solve the measurement equation at the bottom. And then you're done. Okay, so work hard on that page, do your best, and we'll see you next time.